right to information and medical reports. In fact, I thought that the organizers might have intended to allot this topic, that whether the medical report should be supplied to the applicant under RTI Act or not. But when I found that it was medical reports, then I changed the topic and I had to include many things related to medical report. And without wasting much time, I take this act as Asto Ma Satyame, Tamso Ma Jyotirgame, Mritor Ma Amritangame. That is, from opacity to transparency, and from corruption to welfare state, that the meaning of these lines, the Shanti Shloka, lead us from unreal to real, lead us from darkness to the light, lead us from the fear of death to knowledge of immorality. And I think that everyone would agree on this shlok or Shanti mantra, that the RTI has made the government and public authorities responsible for all the information which should have been given to the applicant. In the introduction to this, privacy, as we all know, is the key component of individual autonomy, which is guaranteed by the law of land, and this act forbids the citizens to get information under the government control. It might be thought to threaten the privacy of patients and research subjects, especially by those in government institutions. Therefore, it is important for all clinicians, administrations, and information officers as well as the patients to understand the provisions of Right to Information Act pertaining to healthcare issues, to be aware of their rights and their duties. Means all the person concerns under the government control as well as all the citizens should be aware about the provisions of Right to Information Act. The aims of my presentation, I could summarize these, that to understand various aspects of RTI Act, vis-a-vis medical report, legal or otherwise, and develop a clear understanding of the issues such as, can a hospital refuse the medical report of a patient to patient's father or mother or any other relative? And two separate provisions exist while dealing with medical legal report and while dealing with medical report. Then what shall contribute or what shall constitute the public interest in respect of this act, and is right to privacy of the patient absolute in nature, or can fiduciary relationship between doctor and patient be compromised in certain situations, and or private hospitals answerable to citizens under the RTI Act and when they take benefit of government-sponsored insurance schemes. And I will try to cover various provisions of the Act applicable to healthcare field, landmark judgments or observations made by the honorable courts and the appellate authorities, and to develop a better understanding of these contentious issues. As we all know that the RTI Act or the Right to Information Act was enacted by the Parliament on 15th June 2005, and date of presidential assent approximately it was 22nd June 2005, and it came into force on 12th October 2005. And the territorial extent or jurisdiction of this act was whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir, but after the Article 370 was revoked on August 5, 2019, then both these states are also included. Then this has 6 chapters, 31 sections and 2 schedules. So the outline or why this act was enacted, or the purpose of this act was to provide for setting out the practical regime of the right to information for citizens. It replaces the previous act, which was Freedom of Information Act 2002. This act provides a legal framework of citizens' democratic right to access to information under the control of public authorities. In order to, there are basically 2 purposes: to promote transparency and accountability. In working of every public authority, Constitution of State Information Commission and the Central Information Commission. And for the matters related to or connected with the information sought by the applicant. And the provisions of the Acts are that any citizen of India, means any citizen, may request information from a public authority, that is a body of government or instrumentality of state. This Act also requires every public authority to computerize their reports, including the medical reports, as has also been mandated by the erstwhile Medical Council of India and presently National Medical Commission, and to proactively certain categories of information so that the citizens need minimum recourse to request for information formally. And the authority has to reply immediately or within 30 days of the submission of the application by the applicant. Then the first question which is relevant is that who is a public authority? As you can see in these two red lines, that any authority or body or institution established or constituted under the Constitution, made by the Parliament, made by the legislature, or by notification issued or order made by the appropriate government, and includes anybody on control or substantially financed, also include NGOs or non-governmental organizations substantially financed directly or indirectly by funds provided by the appropriate government. Then, what constitutes information under provisions of this Act? This is the complete list which has been given in the Act, and any material, according to Section 2F of the Act, any material in any form, including this is adjunct which is given in the Act, records, documents, memos, opinions, advices, press releases, circulars, orders, and logbooks, contracts, reports, papers, samples and models, data material held in any electronic form, and information relating to any private body which can be assessed by the public authority under any other law or the crime being enforced. So this is the complete list of the information which has to be supplied by the applicant if the application is made to any public information officer. Then I directly connect the topic RTI, that is Right to Information Act, and medical report. And few important slides pertaining to medical report, the synonym terms for which are health report or medical chart, that is the clinical, administrative and legal documents for which provide chronicle of a patient's medical history and complaints, the findings observed on examination, the results of the diagnostic tests or investigations, all medication therapeutic procedures, and the progress report of the patient during hospitalization or otherwise as a OPD patient, the discharge summary, and the details of follow-up and any other data regarding patient treatment recorded by the doctor or any other health professional. So that will be the complete medical report, starting from the history given by the patient till the final outcome of the case. And the purposes of medical report will not to be described in detail. However, these could be medical purpose, legal matters or court cases, administrative, medical education and research. And for medical purposes, primary purpose of medical report is patient care, and it also aids as a memory aid for all the treating doctors during the course of patient's illness, treatment and follow-up. And for legal matters, we all know that it may be required, the medical reports may be required for civil cases as well as criminal cases. Chiefly in cases of medical negligence or personal injury suits, reporting of categorical cases, autopsy, and court evidences, etc. So medical report for legal purposes would be required for both civil as well as criminal cases. And administrative purpose of the medical report would be for health statistics and claims for insurance and compensation. And the third one, which is relevant for this discussion, is a reply to the right of right to information carrier, and other administrative purposes could be PCT Act, Environment Protection Act, EPF Act, and labor laws, etc. And last purpose which I could narrate is medical application and research, for which in forensic medicine and all clinical science we should know that we provide the data for medical application and research. However, the identity of the patient is never to be revealed, and an ethical review is required for using patient's data for any research purpose if we are including patients or any other subjects. Then, what is about the legal validity of medical report? As per Section 3 of the Indian Evidence Act, which was amended in 1961, earlier it was 1872, medical reports are acceptable in a court of law. And these are considered useful evidence by the courts, as it is asserted that documentation of facts during the course of treatment of patient is genuine and unbiased. And Indian Medical Council Professional Conduct Etiquette and Ethics Regulation 2002 mentioned in Chapter 1 under Point 3 maintenance of medical report. I think the slide is visible to all sitting on the back also. However, I have made it in a slide. Regulation 1.31 is every physician shall maintain the medical report pertaining to his or her indoor patients for a period of 3 years in a standard performa, which is given in Appendix C, which I'll show after this slide. And the next point is 1.32 is that if any request is made by the patient or any authorized attendant or legal authority, the same should be, the medical report should be supplied to the applicant within the period of 72 hours, that is within 3 days. And this is the format which I have introduced in this, including name, age, sex, address, and all these details. And lastly, signature control, name of the treating physician. Then the question is that how long we should preserve the medical report. Because the hospital manual it was revised on 4th June 2002, which was issued by the Directorate General of Health Sciences. And as per MCI regulation, we know that the medical report should be kept for 3 years from the date of commencement of treatment. However, the Directorate General of Health Services guidelines are that OPD report should be preserved for 5 years, inpatient or IPD report should be kept for 10 years, and medico-legal registers are to be kept for 10 years. However, there are certain other acts, Limitation Act is mandating to preserve most of the reports for 3 years, Consumer Protection Act for 2 years, and Income Tax Rules 7 years, Surrogacy Act, which came 2 years back in 2021, which mandates that the medical report pertaining to the surrogacy should be kept for 25 years, and in case of minors, 21 years. And that is 3 is the limitation period under the Limitation Act, plus 18 years when the person attains the age of majority. So, till 21 years of age. Then, though there are no uniform policy or legal policy all over the country for preservation or storage of medico-legal documents in our country, however, state to state they have formulated their own guidelines. And in our country, judicial cases, we all know that they go for 2 decades or even more than that. So, should we keep for 2 decades? The answer is not at all clear. However, Punjab Medical Manual 1934 during British rule made it was printed that the medico-legal report should be kept or should be preserved for 12 years. Maharashtra government says that OPD report for 3 years and indoor report for 5 years, and medico-legal cases report should be kept for 30 years. Then medico-legal experts say that the medico-legal report should be kept unless till the case is closed or it comes to some logical end. Then I think the proper discussion supplying the medical report to the applicant. The same regulation of 2002 of MCI under Chapter 7.2 mentions that not maintaining the medical report of the patient and or not providing reports to patients on demand will amount to professional misconduct, rendering a doctor liable for disciplinary action. And failure to provide medical report to the patient on proper demand amounts to deficiency in service, and it has been held by many of the consumer forums. Then we hope judiciary and appellate authorities regarding supplying medical report to the person. It has been decided in 2002 that not producing medical report to the patient was a case which was brought before the consumer forum, and the medical report was not produced by the doctor in the forum, and the commission held that not providing medical report to the patient prevents the complainant from seeking an expert opinion, and it is the duty of the person in possession of the medical reports to produce it in the court, and adverse effect could be drawn if you are not producing the report. Means the case will go against you if you are not providing the report to the patient. Then supply of medical report under the RTI 2005, it was held in 2014 that a patient has a right to his or her medical report, and the health authorities have a duty to provide the same under Right to Information Act, as well as Consumer Protection Act 1986 and the Medical Council Act as per World Medical Ethics. So all these three important acts pertaining to us in which the medical services have been included, that is the Right to Information Act, the Consumer Protection Act and the Medical Council Act, all these say that the medical report of the patient should be supplied to the applicant or the patient or the authorized. Here the applicant has a strong and undeniable right to information of his or her own medical report. So this line should be clear to all that the patient has got the full right to apply for supplying the medical report by writing a simple application, and if the information is also shown under RTI Act, then the medical report to the patient must be supplied. Then an important slide I think for the younger ones, that in cases of sexual and domestic violence survivors and acid attack survivors, the law mandates that copy of complete medical report should be made available to the patient free of cost, is to be underlined, and failure to do so will invite penal provisions against the defaulting doctor. However, we should also know that there are exemptions which are given under section 8(1), and these are 10 exceptions, and which are sovereignty, integrity of India, prevented by courts, breach of privilege of parliament, trade secrets, and fiduciary relationship, information received from government like the physical safety of any person, issued under investigation, cabinet papers, and individual in privacy of the applicant. So relevant information pertaining to our subject or the health professionals, I have chosen E, H and J. E is information available to a person in his fiduciary relationship, or in H is information which would impede the process of investigation or apprehension, or information under J is which relates to personal information, and it may amount to unwarranted invasion of privacy of the individual. Hence, the public information officers may seek exemption to provide information cited is 81E, 81H and 81J. Then what constitutes privacy of an individual? Privacy of an individual was thought, and it was the parliament also realized it in deciding about public activity and privacy, and it was provided that information which cannot be denied to the parliament or state legislature shall not be denied to any person. So this was made clear that if any information is denied to a citizen or account of being personal in nature, then this same must be mentioned by the PIO or Public Information Officer, and that the same information cannot be provided to the parliament or state legislature. Then the important question is, are private establishments covered under the provisions of RTI Act? It was decided in 2014 that under section 2F of the RTI Act, it is the duty of the public authority who is vested with regulatory powers for all the hospitals, including the private hospitals, to see that right as enshrined in Medical Council Act 1971 and other relevant acts is obeyed by the said hospital. Means the private hospitals are also in the ambit of Right to Information Act, particularly if the private hospitals are getting any funds from the government or any scheme imposed by the state government like Ayushman Bharat. Then supplying the medical legal reports, that is medical legal report and PMR third party, means other than the patient herself or himself and the officer investigating the case. Was from Haryana Medical Legal Manual, and as such the line is that a medical legal report or postmortem report cannot is confidential and not a public document. It was decided in 1981 in this case State versus Johnson. Then the next line in the manual is copy of the medical legal report or postmortem report may however be given subject to fulfillment of the three conditions. First condition is that the applicant should make a proper application, written application. Then he should pay the fee which has been prescribed by the state government. And the third is that the applicant will have to furnish the no objection certificate from the concerned police station that the investigation will not be affected. And in case of doubt, it has also been mentioned in the Haryana Medical Legal Manual that when we are not sure whether the FIR had been registered or not in a particular case, then it will be the duty of the public information officer to get the information from the police station, whether FIR has been lodged in this particular case or not. And the time limit of 30 days for providing information under the RTI Act has already been stated is sufficient for this purpose. The PIO will have to seek the information from the police station. And in the meanwhile, the information can be supplied after getting the information from the police. And alternatively, in Haryana Medical Legal Manual, it is given that applicant shall produce order of the court. And note is given in bold letters in the manual that requests for copy of PMR or the MLR under the RTI Act are not maintained. So this is as such which is given in the Haryana Medical Legal Manual. No addition, no subtraction. Then some important decided cases, not taking much time, but the case which was decided in 2010, Anwar Khan versus Ames, the information was denied to a third party, as it was a medical report of a medical legal case. And the Information Commission held that medical reports in medical legal cases, as per Code of Medical Ethics, are provided only to the patients themselves or to their authorized representatives. Hence, the information cannot be provided unless the assaulted victim himself seeks the information or authorizes someone to collect the same in his place. One more case, Rajkumar versus Ministry of Family Welfare, which was decided in 2009. And the issue was denial of medical legal reports about the patients brought to hospital by police in criminal cases by the Central Public Information Officer, stating that information is exempted from disclosure and belongs to a third party. And also since it is held in a fiduciary relationship. The judgment by the Information Commission was that medical legal cases are indeed legal requirement in criminal cases, and that they are not prepared at the instance of the patient, but to report injuries inflicted on a person to be used by the courts in criminal proceedings. Hence, these are not held in fiduciary relationship with the patient, and that refusal of information under Section 180 is unsustainable. irrevokeable. Then a very famous case where the terrorist attack was there in Delhi, and the case was a postmortem report, the Batla House case, and the issue was that certified copy of postmortem report was sought. However, the CPIO denied information stating that same would impede the process of investigation. But the judgment was that FIR in this particular case had already been exposed to much publicity, and postmortem reports were irrevocable. Therefore, their disclosure in no way could impede the process of investigation or the prosecution. And the CPI to provide the postmortem reports after applying section 10(1) of the RTI Act means if certain information can be given and other information cannot be given, then the information which can be given should be supplied to the applicant. Then about the appeal, that first appeal is made to the FAA, that is First Appellate Authority, and second appeal is made to the Information Commission, first to the state, then central, and the penalty for refusal of application 1 or 2 maximum. And penalty for refusal of application, providing false information, destruction of information, and the important thing for us is that there will be penalty which may be levied under this act at the rate of ₹250 per day up to a maximum of 25,000, and is recovered from the salary of the official, and it is imposed by the Information Commission on the public information officer or the assistant public information. Then the departmental action may be initiated. However, there will be no criminal liability on the part of the PIO. This is the overview of the total act, starting from the right of the applicant or the citizens, then PIO's role, public authority obligations, and the powers of the Information Commission. And I conclude with the famous saying of the father of India: the real Swaraj will come not by acquisition of authority by a few, but the acquisition of capacity by all to resist authority whenever. And then I thank my colleagues, Dr. Tarun Dagar, who is Assistant Professor, and Dr. Mamta Swami, Senior Director in my department, who discussed the topic with me at least 4 or 5 times. कि सर ये इंक्लूड करना ज़्यादा ठीक रहेगा, ये एक्सक्लूड करना जरूरी है. So I am very thankful to them. Thank you.
So we are very thankful to Vijay Khandelwal sir for such a thought-provoking presentation. And to me personally, many of the points were new, and I learned a lot, and I hope that many of the colleagues and the delegates have learned. And now the forum is open for